Hey, welcome to the show. We're here. Hey, welcome to Should You Quit Your Job, where the only show where two broke comedians give you life advice on what you should do. My name is Jay Clark.
I'm Nick Giasulo. Don't take our advice, by the way, ever. Our guest today, I just opened for this guy out in Wesley Chapel at Side Splitters. He's been on tour since 2010, doing the Never-Ending Tour. He is the king of road dogs. Put your hands together for Patrick Garrity, everybody.
Hey,
Welcome.
yeah.
It's like there's nobody here. What the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing?
woo!
I've actually been on tour longer than 2010. 2010 is just
You
when I've been
idiot.
homeless.
Is this a what?
2010 is just when I've been homeless.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
homeless
yeah.
since 2010.
When I've been touring.
Mine sounded better.
Yeah.
I like that.
You blew it.
So you've been on tour since?
Probably 2004-ish.
On tour since 2004, and you had a residence for that first 6 years?
Yeah.
And then lost the residence?
Yeah.
Or how'd that go down? Let's talk about that.
Oh, yes. I started comedy in probably 2021.
Okay.
So I was like 20 years old. And I moved down to Florida. I grew up in Maryland, right outside of D.C.
Yeah.
And then when my grandparents retired, they moved down to Florida. And then my grandfather passed away my senior year. So I moved down to Florida because I didn't want my grandmother being down here by herself.
Sure.
Like mowing lawns and shit.
Yeah.
And then I ended up dropping out of high school and had all these shitty jobs. And
What
then-
age?
Fucking 18.
18?
Or
Oh,
so-
you,
yeah, 17, 18, yeah.
you were right there? Ready to-
Well, because when I moved down to Florida and Maryland, you needed 22 credits to graduate. In Florida, they're like, oh, you need 24.
Oh.
So
for high school?
Right.
I thought all that shit was like standard.
I did
Like
No,
the
no,
same.
no,
It's
no.
not
It's
like
not like
I'm
these
at
days where
college.
you don't even have to read.
I thought it was
to
yes
get
or no.
passed on.
Like,
yeah. No, you have to actually
I
do
did
work.
not have Florida having higher education standards on my bingo card today.
No.
I did not
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that was
No.
going to be the case. That's
Florida's
crazy.
the dumbest state in the nation.
Yeah. Well, I taught in Arizona, but yeah, it's up
So
there.
anyway, it was my fourth high school, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then I ended up having a bunch of shitty jobs, and then I was like, "I'll try comedy." But anyways, my grandmother passed away, and that's what I was like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna fucking live on the road now."
Right.
It's respectable.
Yeah.
So, and then you said you started comedy when you were how old?
20.
20. And then you dropped out of high school. What were some, you said you had a bunch of shitty jobs. Give me some examples.
I had one. One was working in a freezer overnight, loading pallet trucks.
And you're in the freezer the entire night?
The fucking whole night, dude.
With
And
just like a
it was-
jacket?
whatever,
Hat.
sweatshirts or whatever,
Gloves.
yeah, beanie, yeah. And you had to like load up this pallet truck. It's like you know what a pallet truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then it was like, so you work there, and then that was like you know it's like frozen food type shit. But then they had another room, was the ice cream room, which is even colder.
Yeah.
Right.
So you had to go in there and fucking load shit. And then I worked there, and then some guy, he backed in and crushed my foot between my plow truck, and so I was like, my foot got fucked up.
Ran over the foot?
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
crushed it like between.
And I'm
Like-
assuming you didn't get work comp.
Oh, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good,
No, I was
good,
working
good.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was
wouldn't
like,
expected that.
Yeah.
It just felt like one of those places was like, I mean, he ran over your toe, but really, how many toes do you need
It
to
wasn't
work?
No, it wasn't my toe. It was my foot was crushed,
Yeah.
and then
Like you couldn't walk for a while.
I was on crutches for solid fucking over a month.
Wow.
You know, and then I went back, and then I was like, I fucking hate this job.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even it wasn't even the job. It was like the job sucked, but then it was like trying to sleep while everybody else is mowing their lawns
Yeah.
and doing that. Like I'm getting home at fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 8 a.m. People, I'm like, dude, I will. And when they rev it, that revving,
You got to let the
Fucking
neighborhood know.
You
blood
should have moved
rage.
into the hood. They don't cut grass there.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get woken up by gunshots.
I mean, you got to pick your poison. Gunshots
by
got to
fucking
be
pit
less
bulls barking.
frequent than lawn mowing.
Fucking dog fighting, you know.
Right, yeah,
Right.
well, just don't move next door to Mike Vick. You'll be all right.
Now, you were doing comedy while doing that shitty freezer job?
No, that was
you hadn't
before.
started
He
No,
said
that was before.
when he was
Okay,
18
okay.
and then
So
20 he got started.
By the time I was doing comedy, I'd already gotten loss prevention. I was doing loss prevention.
Trying to catch people steal.
Yeah. And
Did you really try?
I did enough to not get fucking fired.
Yeah,
You know,
I got you.
was
That's
just like,
that's a really good front, though, if you want to just steal some shit yourself.
I mean, so my buddy was my boss. Like,
Oh, there you go.
So like, I knew him because we used to work security at a mall together. Then he got in charge. He goes, dude, it's like I'm the manager at this fucking Winn-Dixie that God forgot down here on Orlando Avenue. He's like, you know, and I was like, yeah, we wear regular clothes. I was like, that's better. And then he had our own back room. And I was just back there playing video games, and occasionally I'd fucking catch somebody.
That's a great job.
You got to catch. He's like, yeah, I catch somebody here. So you know, your numbers suck. I was like, Dad, I don't like busting people.
Just let them do what they got to do. If they're stealing, they must need to steal.
It's a grocery store. They're stealing their food for the week.
And
not everybody. So I caught one guy. It was this old man. He was stealing beer. He was on one of those rascals, and he was like one of the only white guys I caught stealing there. You know, I was like, all right.
What'd you say?
I was like, hey man, you gotta come back to the store. He's like, all right. And then I caught another white guy.
But what happens then? They return the beer and
they return the beer. But they get cuffed up. But he didn't.
Even for petty theft.
It depends on how much they sold. If it's over like $5, which it usually was.
Over $5 is then a new they were like, category.
Yeah, because then they had to pay $200. They had to pay a fine like of over $200, and then Winn-Dixie gets part of that fine.
Gotcha.
They had to so that's like Winn-Dixie actually made money off of you stealing from them. But now it's like I guess you could just steal whatever the fuck you want now. With all the law,
well, we all work there now.
Yeah. And then so the cop came. He was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking hook this guy. He's got a rascal and everything. So he's like, he just gave him a court date. He was like, dude, if you don't show up to this, and
probably died before the court date.
Yeah. I still feel bad. I feel bad.
He went to Walmart and stole beer like a true American.
You busted him on his last day on Earth, man. Come on.
He had to, bro. He was gonna get kicked out of a job.
It was a great job, though.
Sounds like a great job.
My buddy would let me go. I go, hey man, he would let me go on the road for like 3 weeks. You know, and then
awesome.
And then eventually I was working. I was like, dude, I'm barely working here. And he was like, and then and then he actually, my buddy, like there was like always a turnover of managers, and then this one manager came back and was like, he tried to get us kicked out of the back room. He's like, I don't like you in the back room there. And then my buddy's like, what the fuck are you up to?
Yeah.
And then he found out the manager was stealing fucking the scratch off cards and shit and fucking blah blah blah.
Why would you steal a scratch off? You can't if you steal a scratch off and it's not like they don't do the ding, then you can't even cash it out. I heard.
Well, what was that like that then?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. This is like,
well,
not to make you feel old.
Yeah.
Way back then?
Well, nowadays, yeah, because if I used to work in C-stores as a third party going in and stuff vendor, and there'd be stories all the time. People would steal stacks of them, but the managers are like, they're idiots. They can't do anything with them if they're not scanned in. You can't do anything with them.
People do that with gift cards still.
Yeah.
And like they don't even put an amount on it. They just take gift cards off the shelf and give them out as gifts.
I keep thinking though, with you having that job and seeing where all the hot spots are, you could have went in there and you could have stole a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
you know where all the blind spots are.
Yeah, when I was like, it was a good job. I wasn't trying to get fired or anything. You know, like fucking.
I was just thinking this Ocean's 11 Winn-Dixie style.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking do my thing. Like I was just, like, it was a sweet gig. I'm stealing money anyway. They're paying me to play video games back there.
Time theft is a real
Dude,
thing.
I did one where like I had to do a show because the improv's right up the street, but the old improv. So I was clocked in, and I went and did a set up, you know. While I was clocked in.
That's how you do it.
Is this Orlando Improv?
The old Orlando.
That's when it
Improv.
used to be downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was
it's
like,
now a Harry Buffalo.
It used to be down on Church Street.
Gotcha.
Yep.
On well, that was a great room, man. That was a lot. I got a lot of good memories from that one.
Yeah, I heard it was sweet.
But
I did that grocery store thing for 5 years, and that back room with the frozen stuff, man, you can't smell weed in there as bad.
And then that back room was great, dude. It was a sweet. Fucking Ricky Reyes worked there with. I got a job.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I had to because he was smoking weed. And I wasn't smoking back then yet. And then so I helped him pass his piss test.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Let me ask you this: when you got your foot crushed, did you have to take a drug test when you got hurt at work?
I think I did, but I wasn't doing anything back then yet.
Oh, gotcha. That's how they'll get
It was
out of
before
workman's
comedy.
comp. Yeah. I had a teacher friend, and we'd smoke weed together after work all the time, and she hurt her ankle doing the dunk tank at the end of the year. And then she had to go take a piss test, and she was freaking the fuck out because if they found out she was smoking weed, they could fire her. But what do I always say? There's no one to hire. Teachers are fine.
Yeah.
So she was all good.
You gotta know what you have.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
Right.
teachers are dropping out in droves.
Yeah.
I that's how I spend a lot of my time driving. I just listen to this is why I quit teaching, and it's all these nightmare fucking stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I was teaching for 10 years and while doing comedy for those 10 years. And then, left that and looking up with this guy here. So he was corporate, I was education. We both have our different nightmares.
Yeah.
But we were kind of opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I quit because I hated it. I mean, I got fired, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
Yeah. You knew it was coming.
Yeah. No, this is actually perfect time for the segment. Let's go. We want to do round robin. Why you think funny reasons you should quit your job? I think you should quit your job when your boss says the word "get the ball rolling."
I do hate that phrase.
It's like every boss.
Yeah.
We're on the same page here.
Right.
Yeah. We got to make sure our goals are aligned and get laser focused.
Yeah. No, you should quit your job the second they're taking their mistake out on you. And that's what happened to me. That was my I quit story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in teaching.
So I was working at a nonprofit before I became like a actual PE teacher. I like that I have to say actual PE teacher. like it's some big deal.
You didn't
I
just touch
achieved,
kids?
But no, I did not. I threw the football at him too hard, that's all. But when I was working at the nonprofit, I had asked permission. I came in on a day off to help train a new person, asked permission to go visit one of my old schools, got the permission, went to that school, and then the manager who oversees that school was mad at my manager for not telling him that I was going there. And so she held a meeting with me and yelled at me for not telling him, even though that was her job and she had given me permission to go. And so I'm in the middle of explaining how this isn't my fault, and she speaks over me and goes, well, I'm putting you on a PIP, a performance improvement plan. And I was like, you can stop right there. I'm going to quit. And I was like, yeah, this is my 2 weeks. I'm out.
I wish I would have been there.
Did you speak over her when you?
Oh yeah,
Good for you, man. Yeah,
You should have made up like 10 more acronyms. For whatever reason, I think managers specifically think they're so much more important if they just create these fucking acronyms. Like,
you go, I'm going to go ahead and throw in my QRN. I'm quit right now.
That's great right there.
Like that.
QRN, bro. Why didn't we think of that?
Quick with it, man.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? I'm quitting right fucking now.
QRN.
Can you put in a PIP if I already put in a QRN?
Yeah. Yeah, my QRN overlaps your PIP.
Triple stamp and double stamp.
Yeah. Lloyd. That's great. Well, all right. So you had some jobs, some good, some bad. Why'd you start comedy at age 20?
I mean, I've always been fascinated with it. Like my dad was always into comedy when I was a kid. This was like years and years ago. Like, they had comic strip on regular TV. I remember seeing Brian Regan like way back in the day, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I remember watching George Carlin when I was like 7, 8 years old, and I was like, "This is cool," And he even at that young, he had certain jokes where I was like, "This is
you could get behind."
Yeah. When you talked about he's like, why are you pet a cat? Their ass goes straight in the air. I was like, wow, yeah, it's great. It's hilarious. Fucking 7. This fucking guy's observant. This is great. Great shit.
He's speaking to me.
Yeah. This is awesome. And then my brother was 6 years older than me, and he was really into comedy. And then both of them, my brother and my dad, were buying me like comedy albums when I was like fucking 9, 10 years old.
Nice.
I was already, and then by the time I was 12, we had to do a book report on a deceased American. Everybody else was doing like Martin Luther King and JFK. I did Sam Kinison.
No shit.
We had to bring in an audio visual aid, so I brought in his album Live from Hell.
Yeah.
And played about 30 seconds of it in front of fucking 12-year-olds.
Until the teacher ripped it off.
There's Kinison right there in the back.
he's
It's fucking great.
staring
Yeah.
So I had to imagine the teacher didn't know who Sam Kinison was.
No, he's an older guy. He's an older guy.
Yeah, sure, you could bring in a little comedian guy.
Is he on Nickelodeon?
And then
he thought it was Jerry Seinfeld.
And then you know what? I put a lot of effort into that. I wasn't a good student, but I put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah.
And he gave me a C.
Wow.
And I was like, "Fuck you, dude." I was so angry.
That
And
hurts.
then I was like, this is one of the few times I actually gave a shit and did work. And I was like, and that really pissed me off about the entire education system right there. I was
you finally found something.
Yeah.
Put some effort,
right?
And you get a C probably because what? Because the content was
he didn't like that I brought in the fucking out, and I was like, everything else though, I at least deserved a B+.
Yeah.
Like get away from the fucking thing about that. I was like, I could tell you, like he was a preacher originally. He was born in Peoria, Illinois, along with Richard Pryor. We're both from the same,
Right.
I put a lot of work into that. I'm like, all right, well, fuck you then. So that was and it just and I went to 4 different high schools. I was like, I hate every single one of these fucking high schools. I hated all of them.
Yeah,
that
for
sucks,
different
man.
reasons. Yeah, and I was just like, and then I dropped out, and I was like, you know what? I got this itch. I was like, I really want to. I go, if I'm going to wear a name tag for the rest of my life, at least let me try something. And I went into comedy going, I'm going to fail, but at least I could say I tried.
Yeah.
And then I didn't actually really eat shit until like my 7th time on stage, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then I tried a whole new set, and I fucking ate it bad.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, but by that time, I already had it. I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, if I actually fucking put some stuff together, I think I could do this. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and every day without a name tag is a victory.
Yeah.
You know,
I
love that.
that's always fucking.
That's a good slogan.
Yeah, I was like, of course, yeah. And no matter how bad comedy gets, I was like, every day without it, like when just hearing you go, let's get the ball rolling, I'm like, ugh. Yeah,
bro.
I'm like, fucking.
He'll do it sarcastically, but then like I'll also catch him just having relapse moments of being in corporate too long.
They burned it into my head. Like I'll catch myself saying it, and then I'll figuratively slap myself in the face. But they do
I'll literally do it if you keep it up.
Right. So high school, then I went to college, and then I did the corporate shit because I was basically just listening to what everyone told you to do, right? Yeah. And then I was doing that for so long, and I'm like, I didn't fit in with any of these people ever.
I know.
Ever. Like I'm likable. In terms of like I'm personable, so I could do sales. I was in sales. It's just like, but I was like, I'm not these people. And all these people are like, oh, I could do pivot tables on Excel.
I remember one of my tweets. I wrote one of my earliest tweets. I go, the only reason I'm talking to you is because I hate you to the least out of everybody here. Yeah. And I go, thoughts that I had when I had a regular job.
That's so funny.
That's your work friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
I tolerate you.
They want to hear about like your weekend and your boss.
I don't want to hear about crabgrass in your lawn.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. My boss used to invite me to her house for a holiday party, and it was slightly mandatory. Can you imagine that?
Well, here's the thing. Like, fucking Mike goes, hey, can you hang out tonight? I go, yeah, I'm going to hang out with you, dude. You're great. Yeah. You're fun. You're fun. Yeah. You run a comedy club and you're fucking cool to hang out. Yeah. That's not a chore, dude. I'm going to hang out. We're hanging out. I would hang out with you even if I wasn't working here. You're like a good dude, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's a no-brainer. Hanging
out with Brad with the short sleeve dress shirt on with coffee stained teeth. I'm good, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to go fucking.
Yeah, I'm going to go jerk off tonight. That's my plan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go fucking kill myself in the bathroom.
Yeah. You got to take half the office with you.
Yeah.
Dude, Rue owes Brad an apology. The hosting this weekend,
funny.
Rue was on like 2 weeks ago, and she just we did the you should quit your job when she goes when your manager's name is Brad.
So
and then
funny.
every time we're sharing it, she's like, oh, it's a different Brad.
Yeah, she goes, just let you guys know that's his actual name.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Name
She's
dropped
great.
her manager. You saw her be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna clip it. So
when did you start getting paid? Because I'm curious. You are in the middle. I'm 4 years in, 10 years in. How many years in?
40 or 23rd year.
23rd. Yeah. So I'm curious.
Good for
like,
you, dog.
what was the route there when you started getting like paid? Was it different than it is today?
Year in.
Yeah.
So I was like, because I actually joined the military.
What branch?
Reserve Army.
Okay, cool, man.
And then,
respect.
because one of the guys because I used to do security at the mall. He was in the reserves and he was telling me about it. He was like, oh, you get a signing bonus and this and that. I go, really?
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And even though I was doing comedy, I wasn't like sure how it would turn out. But then, I was doing a little bit of hosting and stuff before I even joined. But then this is like right after 9/11, and then as soon as I got back, like from basic training and AIT and stuff, I had all these military jokes. And they were fucking killing.
Yeah.
They were like, they still do good now, but back then I was like a kid too, and I was like, they were,
young, and fresh.
and that gave me that gave me so much more material.
Right.
And then I went from fucking hosting to featuring real quick.
Year one.
Like yeah,
nice.
So I was like,
that's a good job.
I heard back in the day you could live off of feature pay.
Nope, not when I was doing it.
Okay, maybe that was a decade before.
You're talking about
that's what people used to say. Like,
don't insult the man, dude.
Yeah.
No, not a Nirvana shirt. He's not that old.
Yeah. I'm a little older than you, and I'm not that old. But but yeah, no. You back in the '80s, you could live off of hosting money. They were paying you like fucking $700 a week to host.
Yeah,
but then it just got over inundated with comedians.
It was just saturated. People would put live comedy out, and it'd be like an open mic or whatever.
Bill Burr's gonna be here tonight.
Yeah. Fucking, because people would lined up and and they would just, whoever's holding the microphone, like, it's terrible. Even some of the comics you see back, you're like, they're terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, this needs to be a standard.
Right.
That's why it's like frustrating. Like you guys got guys like this, like I got this, and then somebody will be like, oh, we're doing an open mic. It goes like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop. You're not. What are you doing?
You're staying in the name of comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You have a fucking standard of it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a big thing about that in Boston when I was just starting out, and obviously I'm taking any stage time I can get, and there was like a free show on Fridays and Saturdays, and all the people that were getting paid to do comedy were pissed about it.
Yeah.
And I get that now, but back then I was like, I just need stage time, dude.
Right,
I don't know what's going on. I'm brand new.
Yeah.
But now I agree with that, man. Like and there was clubs nearby. There was like 2 clubs 10 minutes away from this place that was doing a free show in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I remember like somebody was telling me people were pissed about that show, and I was promoting that I was doing it. And at first, I was 23. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And then I saw the names of the people that were pissed, and I was like, oh, I need to listen to those guys. Because it was it was Boston guys.
Fucking
like,
Kevin Knox.
Yeah, like Steve Sweeney, Lenny Clark, like those names. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, they're right.
Right.
For sure they're right. Even if they're wrong, they're right. Because I need to, cozy up to them. So
Right.
I learned that quick.
Well, I mean, also, it's just like, like I say it every time I do a show, is just like, I appreciate you guys coming out, and I'm aware I'm not famous, so you're coming out here to see a show, and like my main thing is I don't want to be a waste of anybody's evening.
Sure.
To think about that.
Yeah.
Like think about how fucking people have to work a corporate job, whatever the fuck they're doing. And this is their night out. They came out. They don't know who they're taking a chance on you.
Yep.
Especially when you're not a name, and like people like me. And it's my goal to provide them with a fucking great night out. Some of them have to get babysitters, so on top of the 2-drink minimum, on top of finding parking, on top of like how fucking comfortable living rooms are now. It's like, they fucking left their house to come see you, and then you're gonna be like, bleh, and they're like, oh, good, I'm so glad we fucking did this.
That's respect. That's how it should. If everyone treated it like that, then when the comedy boomed, I imagine all those clubs would have stayed open, and it would have probably been easier to get paid and be a non-name comedian as it is. I mean, you could still do it now, but it's probably easier if people would have took it seriously.
Yeah, do your open mic, do it on an open mic, do a show, but do that shit on a Wednesday. Do this shit on a fucking don't like, because he was telling me some fucking record shop down the street was trying to, or whatever. And he was like, "This is the last time I was here." He's like, "I'm so fucking." And I go, "I would be too." It's like, but whatever. Yeah, exactly. And
splitting the crowd.
Yeah, that's not. You're not. Meanwhile, he's taking time to go through like how many people are trying to get booked here. And he's got to sift through them to find like quality comics that he wants to present on stage. It's just like he has pride in his logo. He's like, make sure you get the logo, and it's like this is his fucking thing.
Yeah.
And so I get that, like, I understand, like, until we break, until we make it, we're all just fucking baby birds. Chip, 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 chip.
Squeaky wheels.
Who wants Paducah, Kentucky on a Tuesday? There you go, you fuck. You a hotel? Nope. Find your own fucking accommodation, you piece of shit.
Right.
Sleep in Patrick's car.
Sleep in your fucking house.
We'll give you a White Claw and $5.
Deal.
Oh, I'm thirsty and I need to get some food.
Let me get that 5 all in once.
Yeah. I don't want to spend it in one shot.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been here 23 years. I want to hear your biggest bomb story.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Was it that 7th show?
No.
Okay.
There's
no way. I want to hear a true. I want to hear you've already got your chops. You already know you can do this shit. You can make whole audiences. You didn't see it coming. Bomb story.
Yeah, no. I got this. This is the one. So, God, I think I was like 2.5, 3 years into it, and I was already like, I was even like almost headlining some places. I was because of all the stage time I was getting.
Right.
And then this guy Gary Mankey, who's
I've heard stories
notorious for fucking people over.
He was the guy who used to hold down the Orlando Improv?
Yeah, Orlando. He married like the daughter of one of the big wigs of the company or whatever. So he's constantly, hey, buddy, and he's double tripping booking people constantly. I get to another story about that. But then so it's like, hey, I got this because I could do clean too. He's like, I got this story about I got this gig for the Orlando Magic management. So it's like,
sounds good.
Yeah. But you got to dress up. Okay. And this is like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so I'll dress up. I was younger too. I was like I said, I was like 23, 24 at the time. And then it's like this big banquet hall, this nice hotel. Everybody's dressed, and then I should have called here. The chick that booked it, she was like, they don't even know there's gonna be a comedian. I was like,
She said that before the show started?
No, to me, like yeah, but like not even before the show, but like leading up to it, I was like, okay.
Writing's already starting.
Yeah. And so I have no opener. I have no anything. I'm just gonna do this whole thing by myself. There's no stage.
Good pay.
I think I got paid in basketball tickets. I don't even like basketball. Fucking whatever.
Magic tickets.
Right. And then you could bring a guest. So I brought my grandmother. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's the sweetest woman. Right. And she's dressed, and she doesn't get to go out much, so she's dressed up. She's like, and there's like
it's a night out.
appetizer. She's great.
Having a great time.
Oh man, I'm stressed.
Oh, dude, this is just even like relive. It's like my nom, dude. I'm like, oh, fuck, And then
You want me to get you a cigarette?
so she brings me up, and the DJ is behind me, right? And he gives me. I have a wireless mic, so I start getting into my set, and I'm doing all right at first, and then it's a wireless mic for whatever reason. It starts. There's this sound. It's like coming from the speakers, like every fucking 45 seconds. Like I go look back. I go, what is that? He goes, oh, people must be on their cell phones or something. It's interfering with the thing. I go, so there's just nothing to do about that. Like, I'm kind of
Wow, Mr. Performance is
like
going
I'm
on
whispering, like, so this is gonna happen. And now it's like now I can feel like the sweat, like that flop sweat, just like dripping down my back. And I'm like, I have to do like over a half hour, and I'm like fucking not even 10 minutes in, and I'm like, so I just start piling through it, and I'm just like pushing it. Like
Are people paying attention at this point?
It is. So you start hearing chatter. It's just like I've lost the room, and I'm just like fighting it, and I'm burning through material like shit that it like normally I would be like, all right, I should be wrapping up, dude. I'm like, and then they would play it. So I do this I close on this masturbation joke, and and it bombs so hard, and I'm just like, my fucking mouth is dry to this.
Do you see your grandma's face at this point?
No. I look at the face of the woman that booked me, and she's just like horrified, right? And then I got, all right, that's it, I'm done. And then it was like a sporadic like.
A slow clap?
It wasn't like it was like
clap.
you could count how many people were clapping. It was like maybe like out of a room of 200 something people, 4 people were clapping. Like it was like awful, like poor guy, right? With that sound was shattered by the sound of my grandmother standing up and going, "Yeah!" Fucking standing ovation from my grandmother. Yeah.
That's my
one of my worst fucking moments as a comic, but one of my favorite memories from my grandmother. Yeah.
That's the part you have to shout out of your head.
Yeah. I just remember. Yeah. She was just so. She's
the worst part
so
about
pure.
that, and typically bomb stories are like that. The worst part is the vast majority of that was outside of your control.
Yeah.
The audio, it was a surprise a comedy show, and
everything.
And it sounds like it's like big wigs, fancy, so that it's not even a comedy show.
Yeah. But it was still a bomb.
Right. Sure.
Whatever you want to bite. It was
I bombed in front of my grandmother, my dad, 2 of my uncles, and my aunt in Deerfield Beach, and this was not outside of my control. You know Jim Moran? Very funny.
I know Jim. I love
man.
Jim. Yeah, I know. I love Jim. Yeah.
So last minute, I need a replacement feature. This is at the clubhouse of the 55+ community where all of them live, my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and shit. And so I get Jim to go on right before me, and the mic stopped working during the host. They bring out this little like clip-on mic. So we're holding it like this, doing comedy like this, into this little clip-on mic. I didn't tell you that part? That's because there was plenty of other details
Was
to
this
tell
the Villages?
you about. No, this was Deerfield Beach.
Oh, okay.
So I drove 3 hours to do this, by the way.
3 hours.
So Jim Moran goes on before me, has the only killer set of the night. The other comics did good.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Moran murders it because he's also 55+, and they ate it up. They loved him. And then I go up. I make one joke about how this is going to be the longest you've heard a millennial talk without Tucker Carlson interrupting, and that went good. But when I started talking about my grandfather who died in that community, he had a sick sense of humor. My family has a sick sense of humor. These are all his friends. I'm thinking we're all going to laugh in memory of my grandfather. Oh, my God. It was dead silent.
Yeah.
My grandmother looked horrified. My uncle was laughing.
He should take you out of the will.
Yeah. And this is the thing. You said you had 30 minutes left. That's a moment like when newer comics are like, oh, yeah, I've bombed hard. And it's like, yeah, but for what, 5 to 10 minutes? Have you bombed for 40? Dude, do you know what that
bombed
fucking
a fucking
feels like?
closing set and then go, pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my
fucking
time,
Turd
dude.
Ferguson with your hand up.
Yeah.
Man, I had a good one you reminded me of, though. I did the VP of the Phoenix Suns. I got to roast him. His wife hired me to be a roast master, and that actually went good. Yeah, that was a fun one. Most money ever made doing comedy. Got it off Gig Salad. I was only barely at the feature level at this point, and she paid me like $500 to come do this roast. And then she tipped me $300 in a thank you card after because they had money, dude. So that was a nice friggin' weekend.
It was funny on the way home. Like I'm just like, trying to process what the fuck I just went through. My grandmother's in the side. He goes, "Do you think we could go again next year?"
She had a great time.
She was like, she loved. She got to dress up. I miss her, man. She's the best.
I love that you ended on a masturbation joke.
Yeah, because that's all I had left in the arsenal. I was like,
that bombed, and your grandma gives you a one-man standing ovation.
Yeah. She's the best, dude.
That's
She's
awesome.
the fucking greatest human being, man.
That is amazing.
What a
Do you think we
terrific
can go
person.
back next year?
yeah. She's great.
I vibe with that. That's all I had left in the chamber too.
Yeah.
Because
Like
when you're bombing and you're throwing everything out.
Yeah. I should be done by now.
Right.
I should have like without any laughs.
Yeah.
And nothing but audio interrupt like that. Dude, it was so brutal.
The moments that always prop up your set with good laughs and they're still not hitting.
Yeah,
now you're saying them faster.
Yeah.
I feel that sweat you're talking about.
The flop sweat is what they call it when you feel down the crack of your ass.
The worst.
Bombing for more than 20 minutes is the equivalent of like everybody wants to be a comic. They want, and same with podcasts. Like anything that looks easy, people want to do it, and then it's like, oh, it takes a lot more than I thought to be a comedian or do a podcast and stuff. When people want to be a fighter, but then they see that guy really get his fucking head kicked in, his nose broken, his eyes are swollen shut.
Yeah.
And
The
so
fucking
you want to be a
hematoma
fighter.
that looks like a Siamese twin.
Right. And then all the highlights are like, so you want to be a fighter. This is what it looks like.
Well, not just that.
Who would want to be a fighter?
That's what I say it too, because I talk about fucking sports. Is one of the things I was just like like actual sports and how difficult it is, and like just why I fucking hate golf so much.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing that happens to them is they miss a putt, then everybody just goes, oh, it's like that's their bad day. That's it. It's like they don't have the weight and the pressure, but entire city's population crashing down the stone and they fuck up.
All they're allowed to do is like clap softly, like
softly,
there's no
not
boos.
even enthusiastically.
That's what I'm saying.
Is this okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking like and then I go. Meanwhile, being a fighter. I go, fucking Manny Pacquiao was not there. Like, Manny, are you okay? Like, there's this fucking, you're a meme now after getting your ass hit. Because you go back in the day to Muhammad Ali. He beat Sonny Liston. It's that iconic picture where he's like standing over him. And it's like, yo, we got a new champion of the world. I go, we went from praising like the champion to clowning the loser, and that's the society we live in. It's more about like, and then now you're a fucking meme, getting lost, and that's like that. I got who wants to subject themselves? Nobody gets knocked out looking cool.
No,
it's just always just fucking like it's a slow mo. It's a GIF. And it's fucking, and like you get punched and you get a clown afro come out of your head.
All the sweat pops off of your head.
God,
I'm good.
You get fucking people are actually putting Tweety birds around your fucking head now.
And it's all within minutes. Like there's UFC fights tonight. By like 1 a.m., there will be hilarious videos of whoever got knocked out.
The internet's undefeated, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm good.
They beat us to everything.
Yeah. Dude, I am good.
One of my best friends is a pro fighter, like up and coming, does smaller promotions, trying to work his way to the UFC. And when I watch him fight, like the amount of, you would think it's my wife, like the amount of anxiety I have. Like I don't want my boy to get knocked out right now and get a close up of his face. Like it's emotional.
I always said it too. Like I go, fuck it. In the UFC, instead of just tapping out, the fight. Each fighter gives the other fighter a phrase they have to say. To fucking say you're a little teapot. You're like, you fucking.
That would take it a whole nother level. Like tapping out's already bad enough.
Tap. All right, hey man,
Your face is beat red.
Stop it.
Your eyes are bugging out of your head. You gotta be like, I think you have a bigger cock than me.
Yeah. Your cock is the best. Like fucking. And then the fucking ref. Yeah, what is it?
We didn't hear.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't have the boom mic close enough.
Yeah.
WWF did that. They had the I quit. He had to hold the mic. Say it.
I quit.
I want to get to the car thing because that's unique. I think we'd be
that's
we'd
awesome.
be amateurs if we don't talk about one of the coolest things ever. I at least I'm assuming the world does.
I think it's fucking dumb, but go ahead.
Nick, before we got here, Nick was saying like, what
Fucking
an idiot.
loser.
Why would he do that? No.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most unique things ever. I read that you started with one car, then you had a Honda that got stolen, and now you're on a new car. But then I see you pull up in a Kia. So talk to us about that idea, because I think that should take off.
Yeah,
and hopefully this podcast will help do that.
Oh, yeah. No, so, I mean, it started like, so back in 2010, I had this little Honda Accord, 94 Honda Accord stick shift, and I swear to God, that thing was like my nemesis. Like anytime I got a little bit of money saved, it's like, so you're looking at that Hyundai, distributor cap. It was like an abusive relationship. They would not let me fucking leave, and I was just like, and I remember I'm driving down the highway, and I'm smoking a joint. And I'm like, thinking, I'm like, man, because I'm more of an introvert, honestly. Like, I like talking to people, like interacting with them, but I want to give everybody their time. And then when there's a lot of people, like I'm like, okay, I don't want to like fucking be rude to this person and that.
Sure.
It's
overwhelming.
Right.
100%.
So I'm driving down, and I'm like, I'm thinking of like social media and stuff, and I started thinking about Johnny Cash has his final music video. This guy goes, whoever they got to do the music video is like, I really don't know shit about music videos. So he was like, so he took his last video and he came up with this idea called the Johnny Cash Project, where he takes the video and he put it out there for every single Johnny Cash person to take a frame from the video and then draw it. And now it's like when you see the video, it's this very organic, like some of them are abstract, some of them like one person drove them as fucking Batman, and it's just like, so it's like
and it just flashes.
It just flashes. So it shows you how cool something is when every single person contributes to this fucking thing.
Nice.
And I was like, what if I have people sign my cars? That'd be cool, because now they can like, it's like all I want to get your autograph, and it's just like, and the car became its own thing. And I was like, I'm thinking about the car I'm driving. I was like, what the fuck is this thing worth if I traded it in fucking $300-$400?
Yeah.
It's got a dent in the side of it. I was like, when I have people sign it though, I was like, that'd be fucking cool.
For sure.
That's badass.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, that's how I go. And then it fucking ding, and then I started doing it. I go, hey, I'm gonna have you guys sign my car, and then everybody loved it, man. It was just like, and this thing had over almost. It had 387,000 miles on it when I wrecked it.
I didn't know cars could.
I know.
I
did it. And
you should have called Honda.
I was getting close.
There's a story I heard of a Toyota. A truck made it over 200,000 miles, and it was an older truck. They found out, Toyota did, they bought that truck back from them full price, and then they gave them a brand new 2023 truck.
Right.
Yeah.
So with this thing, I like I said, it was like, I was like, every time I got a repair, I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
But now I had everybody sign it. Now I'm from like, I had to get a repair. I was like, come on, baby. I was like, now it became like, now I loved it.
Yeah.
And
You're a part of me.
Yeah. And I think that was a key thing in my perception of like changing something that I hated into something that I loved. And I think it's a hard thing.
It's poetic. And what I like what you said about that, you said something along the terms of just one thing being a part of it, but then if everyone contributes, then it's like a piece of art.
Right.
And I thought I was visualizing when you said that, if one person signed your car, like, fuck this guy, you just ruined my car. But if you have all those signatures, it looks cool. It looks like graffiti. It looks like a tattoo. It looks like something, it's artistic.
So
I was thinking about that, and that makes a lot of sense.
And then I had and then after I wrecked it, I put up a GoFundMe, and my fans bought me. The next one was the CRV, and that was green when I first got it, so I had it painted white.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that fucker for 4 years. And then people would come back out. They go, I know my other signature's on here somewhere, and they look for it. But I mean, sometimes the sun would bake it off or whatever. But I mean, so it's always changing and looking different. But this one I got now, I'm gonna have it I'm really gonna do it up where because even the the CRV, I did the same thing. I was like, just had people sign it, and I put my Twitter on there. But this one, I'm really gonna because now I have a logo for my tour.
Right.
That's gonna be on the sides of it.
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm gonna put logos of my favorite clubs on there, and then I'm gonna have my social media on there. So it's really gonna look.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's gonna be my tour mobile. Where it's
Gotcha.
like.
Did you fill up the original car with signatures?
Oh yeah, 4 years.
Filled up,
yeah,
and then the next one that they bought you filled up.
No, yeah. So the one I wrecked with the little Honda Accord, man. That one. Yeah, I mean, even though it was like I had only had it signed for like 10 months, but it was already filled up. It gets filled up pretty quick.
Yeah,
like within like a few months, you can see like, man, this thing is like people start looking. I need to find a spot. Whatever. But I also found the spray to put on there to like keep the to keep it on there to keep it like so they don't get baked off by the sun and the rain.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, man, I was like my best idea.
I thought of a merch idea for you. You could sell the Sharpie that they sign it with, and by donation.
I mean,
the donation thing. You both do.
If you bought Sharpies bulk.
No, I don't even use. Mostly I just do. I do paint markers because paint markers stay on there. But also too, if like you don't do it, like some people would press too hard and the paint would leak out, and I'm like, don't press too hard on this fucking thing.
I got you.
I was like, if it's not working, shake it up. Because it's just like, but yeah, I mean, it's still fun though. It's one of my favorite ideas. I mean, even when I first started having people sign the car, I would forget that I had people sign the car, so I'd be driving down the road and people looking at me, what the fuck are you looking? Oh yeah, that's right. Driving a fucking cartoon. Yeah.
Actually, what's your problem?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm driving this fucking Looney Tunes thing. Yeah.
It's such a great idea. I mean, do you do any vlogs with it or anything? Because
that's the thing. Like, so my social media, like I said, I'm not a big like, hey, blah, blah.
So I get the vibe you hate the social media aspect.
I hate it.
Us too. We
that's why we started.
We fought it for the longest. We just.
I don't want to get on TikTok.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but like you got to do it
every time I post on TikTok.
This was the thing because it was like okay, the car becomes its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now it's been fucking however many years I haven't had a car to sign in such a long time. Now it's like I want to get it back. Now I just have to find the right time because like when I have it painted, I have to have like time off so they can paint it, and I don't need to work that week, so I have to find a place where I have like time to. Get it because after they paint it, it still has to set to like don't drive it for however many days. So I have to have it painted, then I have to have it set, and then I have to be able to get back on the road with it.
I could have helped you while you were in South Florida. I wish we talked about that earlier. We got the family dealership in Palm Beach Gardens and Jupiter, and we got a ton of contacts to wrap it. All right.
I got a gig there tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll be down there before the. I'm down there again next month.
I'm there twice in March, the 3rd and the 16th. So let's talk about that. Classic Cars at Palm Beach. My dad owes us money. We keep plugging the
It's like the 6th time you said that. Yeah,
but it always comes up. Cars are so
no. I'm saying that's the 6th time you said that. So tell your dad because we need new lights in the studio. We need a lot of new things.
when the Kia gets full of signatures, bring it by. We'll do a whole promo and get you a new car right there.
Yeah.
I mean that's So I mean that's gonna be like my social media thing, and then so my grand scheme of things.
I was gonna ask you. What's the goal right now?
So this is what I want to do. I already got a Patreon, so I was doing good before the pandemic. Like I had a few subscribers and everything, but then it fell off or whatever. So but I want to get the car signed and then really start putting up the Patreon again. But so the goal is to do my Never Ending Tour. I want to get 100,000 subscribers to the Patreon. Everybody subscribing for just $1, and then I do my Never Ending Tour around the country, like I've been doing for the past however many years, almost 15. And then, but the kicker is I bring 3 different comedians with me on the tour, right? And then I pay each comic. I pay each comic $25,000 for that month that they're on tour with me. There's no headliner. We split all the time, and then so one show I'll host, and then we'll go, and then we all switch it up.
I just DM'd you my application.
Yeah. so we all and then we split the time, right? So we go in, and I think with people's short attention spans, be like, oh, this guy's great, and then right after that you got another guy, and they're like, and then another comic, and then they're like, so then they switch it up, and then so like one show I'll be somebody's favorite, another show I like this person the best or whatever, and then comic A, B, and C's fans will hear comic D, and comic D, B, and C's fans will hear about, so everybody's fans. And I was like, fuck Last Comic Standing. I'm so sick of shows where they're competitions. This is a collaboration.
Sure.
Love that. Yeah.
I'm so sick of killing myself trying to get a piece of the pie. Like I want to create a pie, give everybody a slice, right?
Yeah, it's decent.
And then after that month's over, another 3 comedians. After that month, another 3. So it's always a revolving door of comedians.
Yeah.
Like it's a very simple question about how do you put together a killer show? Easy. Put all killers on the show.
Yeah.
And after 20 years in this business, I know who the killers are.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of guys like me where you're like, oh, I never heard of this, but I'll fucking kill a room,
Right.
And then yeah, so that's it. And then the my favorite thing about this though is like, have you ever heard of the Fenn treasure?
Mm-mm.
So back in the 1980s, there was a renowned art dealer named Forrest Fenn who got diagnosed with terminal cancer. And he was like, well, this sucks. Well, on my way, I'm going to do something cool. So he hid a treasure out in the middle of nowhere. And then he wrote a poem with 9 clues telling specifically where
Scavenger hunt.
Right. And then...
So he took
He
his
survived.
life savings,
Then he
everything, and put in it.
Not his life, but I mean, he was a multimillionaire, but he was like, he was an artist. So he just knew. So he hid it somewhere. But then he survived the cancer. Dude, people died trying to find this fucking thing. They're like, you're a piece of shit. You lie. You did. He's like, I swear to God, it's still out there. And then he died, I think, in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He finally passed away. Somebody just found the treasure like maybe a year and a half ago.
What was in it?
So, $2.5 million worth of fucking jewels and fucking even the case, even the chest alone was worth $150,000.
Jamie,
So
can
it
you
was
pull
like-
up that story?
It was
We need a Jamie. We need a Jamie right now.
It was like rare coins, gold coins, jewels, rubies, diamonds, like, and it all totaled up to like almost $3 million, like $2.5 million.
And you said people died looking for this thing?
It
Like
was
legitimately died?
They were like out in the middle of nowhere trying to find this fucking thing.
How'd
It
they
was
die?
because it like
Exhaustion,
dehydration, like elements.
He's taking you like
Dude, it was
crazy
in
off
the middle of
beaten path.
nowhere in Colorado. Finally, where they found it somewhere.
Holy
I think it was Colorado, but that's the people didn't even know what state it was in.
I was gonna say, did people die in Colorado?
It could have been in New Mexico. They knew it was out west somewhere, but they didn't know exactly where.
Recreated the
So-
gold rush with a poem.
So what I want to do is like once my Patreon gets big, I'll take a percentage from my Patreon and I'll hide it.
Mhm.
And it's like, and then if you want to know what the clues are, you gotta sign up for the fucking Patreon.
Yeah.
And the bigger the Patreon
Spend
gets,
$1 when. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're
and
gonna
it's
bury,
like,
but
and every like, but I mean, I'll put a treasure up like every month.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not that smart of a guy that and it's not, and also it's my logo.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a fucking pirate. What do pirates do?
Yeah.
They fucking bury treasure.
Find
Yeah,
that booty, baby.
Yeah, find
Find
the
that
booty.
booty.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And of course, there'll be some months where I'm just tired. I'm like, it's on exit 93 here. Just fucking come get it. You know, like fucking like digging like fucking cigarette. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
here.
it's
You
in
know?
the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
You have exactly 12 mirror lights.
Yeah.
Do you guys know this guy as like Tim something? He makes I don't know if he makes watches or he just has a watch collection, but he does kind of that. He'll start a live video on social media and he'll just sit there and he'll wait for someone to run up and yell, "Love your journey," and he gives them like a really expensive watch.
That's
And
great,
People
yeah.
find him within 30 minutes. He'll be anywhere in the world. And he'll just put up a video, and you got to like look at the background and figure out where this fucking guy is. And people will run up, and they'll be out of breath, and they'll be like, "I live 30 minutes away. I recognize the bridge in the background of the tree line." And they get a watch, and
Yeah.
he's got.
He's like, you gonna say a line though? You gonna say it? You gonna say I'm a little teapot?
As soon as they can see him, they're like a half mile away, going, "Love your journey!" Like, they go nuts
Yeah.
for this shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's a great idea, man. I
Yeah,
love that.
this one because I was always fascinated by the Fenn treasure thing. But I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty much a comedy pirate. Like I don't have an
Yeah.
agent or a manager.
So
I do
dope.
everything myself, and like
Comedy pirate.
that's what I am, man. I'm
That's
like
beautiful.
fucking. I don't got an agent.
I asked him where we can watch the UFC fight. He did tell me to pirate it. Right?
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
So-
yeah. What you doing? Paying for that?
Yeah. Idiot.
Yeah,
What a
Dane is
loser.
greedy. All right, that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, so
You
I'll
already
be-
kind of answered those. Sort of. I want to hear you kind of take it down this road now. What is making it look like to you in comedy? Do you feel like you've already made it for what you're trying to do?
I mean, I know, like I can hang. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at my one of the things I hate about this business is it forces you to compare yourself. You know,
Yeah.
like where you're like, oh, you're like even at a wholesale, we're like, oh, this guy's getting feature work, or this guy's getting headline work.
Yeah.
And you know, and I know I don't like that, but I don't like saying, oh, I'm better than this guy, I'm better than that guy. But if I'm gonna honestly look at certain guys, I'll be like, well, they ain't better than me.
Yeah.
You know, if we're really gonna like fuck it. And then there's some guys I will be like, oh, that guy's phenomenal. And
Right.
like, you know, and then instead of I try to be inspired by people like that's fucking great. That
Yeah.
makes me want to sit there and write and you know
Yep.
fucking do this bit or whatever. And then but like I know there's another level to it that I need to get to, and then it's like, and I know it's a social media thing. That's my fucking Achilles heels. It's like that's the only thing in my repertoire that I'm not successful at because I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I have to get over that.
Right.
I have to sit there and go, you know, because I learned how to edit video and I'm good at it, but it's tedious as shit.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
that's the last thing I want to do after driving 17 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's like I don't like. but that's part of the work now. It's part of the job.
Absolutely.
It's like, because I started comedy when you just had to be funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're a small business. Every
Now,
person.
you
is a
gotta
small
know
business.
how many
You're an
fucking
editor,
hats
you're
I
a
have to wear.
promoter.
Yeah, exactly. You have to.
You're an
booker.
influencer.
Yeah.
You have to do all this shit, So it's like, but I have to go. All right, that's it. That's why, and that's another thing with this car signing thing. I was like, that made it its own thing, and I know that's a story, and I can promote that. And I know once I get my shit going, it's gonna snowball, especially with like the Patreon thing. Like
That's exactly how we talk
No
about
doubt.
this.
No doubt it will. I mean, like I said, there's no one else doing that. There's
Right.
Yeah,
just-
that's
just
super
not,
unique.
Just not everyone else knows yet.
Right.
Same thing with this podcast or anything creative. It's if you believe in the idea, it will
Oh, I
work.
know.
Just
Yeah.
not everyone knows about it yet.
Right.
But
And I
showing
know-
up consistently is tough.
Yeah.
and I know once I get it going though, like, because I mean I want to get 100,000 subscribers, right? But I don't even like once I get to 10,000. Like 10,000 is like once I have 10. If I can hide $10,000, that's enough for people to want to go find it.
Oh,
And
for
that's
sure,
like,
for sure.
And once I can get
Just $1,000.
I'd be
people
doing
look
that,
for.
yeah.
I mean, $1,000, but I mean like 10.
Depending on how well you're doing, $1,000
If someone is motivated to look for $1,000, they're not going to have the means to go through this journey to find this $1,000. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
You're going to have some kind of means to go travel to Colorado and all these other places. And
Right,
people
right,
died
right.
looking for this other treasure.
Right. And what also it's like if you're gonna take time off of work or whatever to go look for this fucking thing, it has to be worth you finding it. You
Yeah.
know, like 10 grand isn't life changing, but fuck it. It's
Dude, I'm throwing down right now. Whatever amount you bury, I'm calling my boys from back home and be like, we're all meeting up. We're finding this treasure. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Man,
But
haven't you
that's why
dreamed of
once
that moment?
I wanted,
Finding treasure?
but also like I wanted to like grow. You
Yeah.
know, like because I want to be like a percentage of the Patreon. So like once like it gets big, you know,
It's going to
like,
end in a gunfight and Patrick
Yeah.
being interviewed. Like, did you see it going like this?
Yeah, I mean,
There's 12 dead bodies. What do you
Yeah.
have to say about this?
I shouldn't have hit it in Florida.
I go. When they're pirates, what do you
Right,
think?
right, right.
They've got
Hey, you're
pirates.
gonna lose an eye every once in a
yeah,
while. Why
yeah,
do you think an eye patch?
yeah. Fucking,
Guy bought a pirate sword to a gunfight.
Right.
I'm just out there. You know, you guys want to kill each other over it.
Well,
Sorry, you
Yeah.
know.
Man.
people die every day.
You know,
People
it's
die
a,
every day.
people,
At least they
people,
died looking for
people
money.
kill each other over a Wonka bar with a golden ticket in it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
The show we just did, so we were just at Wesley Chapel at the Side Splitters, and I didn't even have a joke attached. I just kind of like I said something like, I'm new to Florida. I just want to fit in. I'll buy a gun. And like everyone kind of gasped. And I jokingly go like, we were at a movie theater basically, and I was like, oh yeah, don't say gun at a movie theater, my bad. And the woman in the front row went, that was this theater. And I was like, what was this theater? What are you fucking talking about? And I stumbled upon a guy got murdered over an argument over popcorn at that movie theater we just
Was
did the
it
show
that
at.
one? Because I remember a guy.
It wasn't that specific room we were in.
I know, but
That was
I
the
remember
thing.
seeing one where a guy went to his car and shot another guy because he was on the phone or something.
Everyone told me it was over popcorn, so I
Oh.
don't think that's the same one.
Yeah, because there was
But how
another
fucking
story I
wild.
heard. Yeah, a guy yelled at a guy, and it was during it wasn't even during the movie. He was chucking with the babysitter. He was like, "Hey, hope the kids are." And the guy's like, "Put your fucking phone away, man."
Previews, bro?
Remember
We
previews?
got YouTube.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the preview
Was that a
Go
Marvel
from there.
trailer? Because I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
also fuck
Yeah.
him up.
Back in the day, the trailers, the previews, they were gold because you didn't have YouTube. But now that you have YouTube, you're gonna
Yeah.
shoot someone
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Hey, I'm really trying to see what this thing's about.
Yeah. Even then it was just like it's whatever, bro. It's like he's checking with the babysitter. You're gonna shoot this guy,
Man.
and the guy that shot the guy was like I think he was a retired cop or an off-duty cop or something. It was a cop too that fucking did the shooting.
Yeah. That sounds. Wait, okay, maybe that was the same one then, because they said it was a cop who killed this guy, an off-duty cop, arguing over popcorn. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than that, man. We're getting close to wrapping up here. At this point, with comics who have been in it less than us, we get to our advice section. We've already agreed there's not much advice we can give you regarding comics.
He didn't let you get it out of the mouth.
How about you shut the fuck up?
Wait, we thought about this hard.
I would love to hear it.
We both think you should quit comedy. actually.
I think you should go back to the loss prevention job.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a pretty good gig, dude.
Military's looking pretty good right now.
That store's been closed. Fucking.
So I did want to ask, what was the closest you came to not doing comedy? Like, what career path, if you weren't doing comedy and you had to imagine yourself doing some of these things we all fucking hate?
Oh my God! I mean, I really don't. I mean, because every job I had there was nothing. Everything I'm a dropout, dude. There's
Yeah.
nothing I can do that
Sure.
is appealing or anything. Like I
Yeah.
think if I'm a fucking drug dealer, I guess, or something
Yeah.
at this point. Like I mean, even the loss prevention I hated. Like,
Is that what you did the longest while burning the candle at both ends, doing a day job and comedy?
Yeah, so I had loss prevention. I was doing loss prevention, and I had my reserves. I was doing 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year type shit.
Oh, okay.
And then I had comedy. So I was technically working 3 jobs at one point. You know,
like, achiever. Look at that.
Yeah,
Who needs high school?
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Ah.
You know, I was like, but you know, I think. For me, I mean, I would probably, you know, because I'm good at art, you know, like, so something creative, I guess, would be, you know, to do some kind of thing along those lines. You know, I always like good stories and stuff like that. Like, you know,
Right.
I loved. Does that? I don't know. Have you guys ever seen that show Severance?
Yeah.
No,
no, I haven't. I've seen just the first like little bit of it. That's Adam Scott on Apple TV. Yeah,
That's one of the best
That's on
shows.
my
Like,
list.
I love good creative shows. You know,
Yeah.
Warrior's great. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's based on Bruce Lee's writings.
it's a movie or a
Show.
Warrior.
It's like three Asian gangs are fighting over supremacy of Chinatown. Like it's like takes place 15 years after the Civil War
Mhm.
in San Francisco. It's fucking excellent.
Yeah,
It's like if Quentin Tarantino wrote and directed a kung fu series.
really.
Yeah, and
Who
it's
streams
sick.
it? I'm gonna check it out.
It's Max.
Max.
So
oh,
it
HBO
started on
Max.
Max has
Cine-
been crushing it.
Yeah, it started on Cinemax, and then
Cinemax or HBO Max?
HBO bought
Well,
Cinemax.
that's why it's Max
That's
now.
why it's
That's
called.
why it's called Max.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
man.
HBO's.
I didn't know that. I thought they were like, you know,
And
we
they
don't
got
like
rid
our
of all
name
their
anymore.
porn. All right,
Yeah,
so sign the petition at the bottom of this video
So
to get porn
it's got
back.
3 seasons, and they're all amazing. They're great,
Hell
but
yeah.
they didn't get renewed for a 4th. But it's coming to Netflix. Netflix made a deal, so Netflix will. I'm hoping whoever watches this, please watch Warrior, so I can get it.
So I can get some closure.
Yeah. It's
The
amazing.
CEO of Netflix is one of our
Please,
avid
please
fans.
watch this fucking
Yeah.
show so it gets enough following. You know,
Yeah.
because I felt the same way about. Did you ever see Happy?
No.
Happy. No.
That
I've seen
was
Happy
great.
Gilmore.
No. Happy with
Hell yeah.
what's his name? Christopher Maloney.
Mm-mm.
So he you know, the guy from Law and Order.
Yeah.
So he did this show when nobody knows about it because it came on Sci-Fi, and then Netflix got it.
Yeah.
So he's this dishonored cop that ends up becoming like a hitman, and his estranged daughter that he doesn't even know about gets kidnapped by this deranged Santa Claus to get sold off into this child trafficking thing, and her imaginary friend, who is real but only her dad can see it because he's crazy and he's related to her, and it's voiced by Patton Oswalt. He's like this flying fucking thing,
Patton Oswalt?
right? So he's like this crazy. It's
Yeah.
like this ultra violent fucking, you know. And he thinks he's going crazy. Like, what the fuck is this? He's like, your daughter's kidnapped. It's like, I gotta stop taking these drugs. Yeah.
I feel like you're taking
suggestions,
drugs.
That's the one I'm watching first.
Yeah. He's
That
like,
sounds
what the fuck is this? You know.
Yeah.
And then so he's about to get ambushed at a hospital, and then the thing goes, he's like, Nick, you got 5 guys coming. He's like, 5? You know, I can do 5. You know, and so he kicks the shit out of all of them, and he's getting the elevator. He goes, how'd you know there were 5? And that's when he starts understanding that this thing is real.
Yeah.
And then that's when clicks for him, and it's fucking great. Dude.
That sounds
Yeah.
wild.
That one's called Happy.
Happy.
And which
Yeah.
streamer?
It might still be on Netflix, but it used to come on Sci-Fi, but I found it on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
wicked.
and
crazy.
Christopher Maloney is amazing, and the
Yeah.
whole cast is great.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Christopher Maloney, you're like, when you see him in this and see how funny he is and how his range and everything he can do, you're like, this is what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right.
That Law and Order, he's great in Law and Order, but it's also he can only do so much. It's very one dimensional.
Cut and dry.
But this shit, man,
Yeah.
like how funny that guy
Right.
is. Like he has a. I'll show you this after we do the vlog. But he did a cameo in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where he plays a gay fucking what is it, like hotel guy, like a hotel front desk guy.
Yeah.
Dude, hysterical. Or you're like that's Christopher Maloney, and
That's
he
fucking
fucking
crazy.
crushes it.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
This guy is too funny not to be doing comedy shit.
I'm gonna check that
Yeah,
out.
He's
I like that
amazing.
you're saying it that way because all I'm thinking right now is you're definitely doing what you're supposed to be doing because I asked you to imagine other careers you could be working and you're like, here's a list of crazy shit I've been watching. I don't know, dude.
I was like, that's an actor.
No. I would, or I'm thinking a writer or something, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something
no, I
good.
love
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah, yeah.
there's no fucking way I can like.
Yeah.
I can't, dude.
I vibe with that something creative.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, for me, I was like playing guitar a lot, and I stopped playing sports. I was like, all right, music, I'll do that. And the only times I felt good on stage were in between songs, saying funny shit while people tuned up and got ready for the next song.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And it wasn't until after college that I was looking back like, that was something, right? And then I think I told you I was watching Bill Burr, and I was like, I'm gonna go try that shit. So
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go try comedy, fail miserably, and then
Yeah.
I'll wear a name tag.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
but before that, I gotta get this out. I gotta scratch this itch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
23 years later.
23 years later, I'm like, okay,
Still
I'm
doing
still in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a
I'm fucking-
monster, man. You'll
oh.
see it tonight. It's
I'm
funny as
looking
hell.
forward to it. Yeah.
And you talk about shit like being a little brother and being raised Catholic and shit. So I was telling him, man, that first night we
I got an
worked
older
together.
brother too. I'm looking forward to that.
I was sitting in the back of the theater watching, and you say goodnight, and you start walking, and I'm listening to the host like thank everyone for coming out, and then I'm like, shit, I was on the show. I have to go with him. Like I freaking forgot that I was part of it, dude.
dope.
So I got real into it, man. Love what you're doing. You're doing it in the most badass way possible. Like you're king of road dogs.
It's punk rock.
punk as fuck.
I think you know, when I first started this, I was like, the thing I wanted more than anything, more than being famous or money, was like, I want respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I want respect on this. It's like, and then when I do earn my shit,
Right.
nobody can deny that I didn't earn it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, I fucking earned this shit.
I feel that,
Yeah.
man.
You know,
it's like-
every comic that's worked with you I've talked to has great things to say, man.
That's what I'm saying too. Is just like I never got into this business to make enemies. I love doing this,
Yeah, yeah.
but people make enemies out of you for whatever reason. That's
sure.
on them.
Yeah.
But I always call it like everybody's my buddy till they're not. I was
Right.
like, what's up, buddy? Like,
Yeah.
everybody's my buddy.
Yeah.
You know, until you're not, and then I'm like, until you prove otherwise. But I love everybody. Like I
Sounds
feel
good,
lucky to do this.
For sure.
This is a great thing. You know, I mean, there's certain things about this business where it's like you guys are talking about the corporate world in comedy. Remember in Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
where Jim Carrey goes, "Hey, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so you don't have TV credits."
Yeah. In the comedy world, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I see you just got a standing ovation. People fell out of their chairs, but have you been on AGT?
Yeah.
Oh, did you just see what I can do?
Yeah, right. No, I haven't been on AGT because I can't fucking do this material.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a great set at the Comedy Studio in Cambridge, and Rick Jenkins, I'm going to name you. He says to me after the show, he's like, "Hey, that was a great set, but you couldn't do that on the Tonight Show, right?" And I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
this isn't the Tonight Show,
Yeah.
right?
And also, who gives a fuck about
Yeah.
the Tonight
Yeah.
Show? That was a great credit back in 1987 when
this
there were
was-
6 channels.
Right. Not to mention, this was a show tonight, so shut up.
Yeah. I was like, there's a million fucking
Yeah.
things, a way to get comedy, and that's
Yeah.
another reason why I want to do my idea, because it's like,
Right.
now I have you get 3 comics you get to watch for an entire month. They're doing a podcast
I
with
love
me
it.
every week. You really get to know these people. It's not just 5 minutes
It's
of
another
watered down
platform
material.
for
Right,
comedians
exactly.
to do
Like
what
I'm
they
trying
do.
to change the landscape here.
That's
It's like
beautiful.
it's something that I want my Never Ending Tour to be a credit to you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where-
Oh, I was on
Oh,
Patrick
you were-
Garrity.
you were- you were on the- you were-
fucking
you were-
love that, dude.
you were
Yeah.
on the
Giving
NET.
back.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you were on the NET. That's a fucking
Yeah.
You can work this club. You
Yeah.
know,
Love
like-
that, dude.
Right.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you this question. I don't know how much more time we
We're-
got to wrap up.
This will be our final question,
yeah.
and then we're going to wrap it up.
So the whole concept of doing this was there's a lot of people out there that are splitting themselves. They're doing a 9 to 5, and then they're hustling at night, whether it's music, comedy, art, whatever they're
Fighting.
doing.
Yeah.
They're splitting themselves, right? And my philosophy, and I think anyone's philosophy should be, the only way you'll find out if you're going to be great at something if you're all in. You're all in times 15,000. Like I've only been in this 4 years. I met a lot of comedians, but the way you do it is all in to a max. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
if you
safety net.
if you could tell someone right now watching who is doing the 9 to 5, they hate it, but they need the money, and they're following and chasing their dreams at night, and they had to make a decision tonight, what would you tell them? What would your advice be through your experience?
One of my, whatever you feel about the guy or not, Conor McGregor, one of my favorite quotes from him.
He's the man.
He's like, "I'm not talented, I'm obsessed." I think that's one of my favorite fucking things. And it's just like, how obsessed are you? And really be honest with yourself about like where you're at. Like when I say, you compare like, oh, I'm not better than that guy, I'm not better than that guy, but they're not better than me.
Right.
But you also, that guy is better than me. That guy, and why are they better? Like you got to be
Sure.
honest with yourself about what you're doing. And if you're gonna chase a dream, let me tell you something, chase it. But always remember, reality is chasing you. And you
Yeah.
better have a fucking plan.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's what it comes down to. It's just like, once you quit your job, like, all right, what do you got lined up?
Yeah.
And it's like, who are you in with, and how are you gonna get in with them, and this and that shit. And buddy, let me tell you, it is hard to crack a roster. So there's only 52 weeks a year.
Yeah.
And there's only, and they got the guys they like.
Right.
So it's like, and if you're gonna crack that roster, you're gonna be taking somebody else's spot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's fucking hungry hippos out here.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's like, So it's a different kind of grind. It's like running across a bridge while it's disintegrating behind you. And be funny while Indiana Jones is running away from the boulder.
Yeah.
So I bought a computer.
Yeah. We're running for your fucking life.
Need this.
Hey, what's this deal with airplane food? You know?
It's nuts.
Right. And so it's just to have that kind of like, you almost have to be like almost this fucking, where nothing can rattle you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be. Can you sleep in your car?
Yeah.
How long can you sleep in your car?
Yeah.
Can you go without eating?
Yeah.
When you have to choose between your phone bill and food, which one you choose? Like,
100%.
Can you make these decisions?
Yeah.
Can you live like this?
Yeah.
It's just like, do you have and you have a family? That's like, I don't have a family. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pulling game is fucking. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Shit.
No offense, Jay. Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Mine's bad.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you. You shouldn't have had him.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, but that's shit you got to take into consideration.
Yeah.
You got kids, and like now you have to provide, but it's like, but that's also the same thing too. Is like, you're networking, and like it's all like that's how you get into clubs. Is like, oh, hey man, you work this club, can you vouch for me? But also be worth the vouch. Like
Right.
you gotta like
a lot of people
vouches for
asking
you. Right. You gotta.
You made me think of something I tell. I'm a young comic, but I tell younger comics because sometimes they get this idea in their head that they're already great, and they'll be like, I'm not going to do a show if I'm not getting paid. And they're like, know your value, dog. Know your value, dog. I'm like, yeah, know your value, but be valuable. There's kids that are a year in, and they're like, I'm not going to do a show if it's not paid. I'm like, you're not a product yet. You have to do the free shows, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're still a waste of somebody's evening.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if somebody comes out and they go, okay, yeah, that guy was worth coming out to see, and it's just like, and also working the road because I see so many New York comics. I was like, yeah, do that shit in fucking Missouri.
Yeah.
Talk about the subway.
Yeah.
Right.
Running with the fuck, like like see how good your comedy works in every region. Of the country. Like that's so like because what might be funny to this person might be offensive to this person.
True.
And this and that. Like I'm working all over. And it's just like. That's that you get your chops like that. It's like
100%.
And then a lot of people I'm gonna work this club and that club. I was like, okay, but you still got to do the one-nighters, and that's what makes me dangerous is that I still do those like I work nice clubs like this, but I also work ones where it's like Rocky punching meat in a freezer. I'm like fucking so I come here and it's like, oh man, you really like I fucking I'll do a casino in Sault Ste. Marie where they don't fucking turn off the TVs and they smoke indoors and
Feel that date.
It was like fucking $200.
I love that. I love that you said obsessed out the window, man. I'm gonna name drop right now that one of the best weekends I got to host. I opened for Nate Bargatze.
Oh, nice.
We were drinking till 4 a.m. on the last show. My wife's there, and it was around 4 a.m. where he like turned to give me his comedy advice, and we'd been drinking all night, but he just looked me dead in the eye, and he was like, "Hey, if you just like having these cool weekends, opening for people you watch on TV, fine. But if you want to really do this, you're going to have to be obsessed with it." And he looked at my wife and he goes, "And you're just going to have to deal with that shit."
You're going to be obsessed. And you
deal with that.
It probably won't work out.
As soon as she leaves me, I'm living this life. I'm living in the car. Driving, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to name this episode The Never Ending Tour.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I kind of like Road Dogs because you can follow Patrick at PG Road Dog.
Yeah.
So we'll debate the title.
Okay. If you want to plug your socials, that's that camera right there.
Right there. PG Road Dog on Instagram and Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you call it. And then and on Facebook's just my name, Patrick Garrity. That's it.
Beautiful.
Garrity.
Appreciate you doing the show. Can't wait to see you tonight.
You guys are great.
Before we sign it all the way off, thank you to Laugh Out Lounge.
Huge thanks to Laugh Out Lounge.
Shout out to Laugh Out Lounge. They're doing the Lord's work out here.
Mike, Jess, Malachi, crushing it. Patrick's headlining all this weekend. And Jake Clark is headlining.
I'll be here May 3rd and May 4th.
He is headlining here May 3rd and May 4th.
Yep,
and then
May
that
3rd,
Thursday, I'm headlining here for the very first time.
So you can come see all of us. That's
Absolutely.
what you can do.
And fun fact about May 9th, a couple weeks ago, Rue was on here. She's hosting this weekend for Patrick at Laugh Out Lounge. And she said on this podcast she wanted to become a feature by the end of the year. She will be featuring for me on May 9th right here at Laugh Out Lounge.
Boom.
So, a lot of people to come see here at Laugh Out
Follow
Lounge.
your dreams, but have a plan, in the words of Patrick Garrity.
Don't follow your dreams. Chase them.
Chase
them. Yeah.
Because reality's chasing you. I like that
Don't
shit.
follow them, chase them. I love that shit, man. Patrick Garrity, everybody. Fantastic
Hey,
guest.
right.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it, man.